there, welcome. This is the Inside Sports show here on TV3. Inside Sports is every Monday to Thursday, 11:30 a.m. We bring you all the updates in the world of sports. Today, well, we're bringing you some of the highlights over the weekend. You know, interesting sports updates that came in, also transfer news, as well as several sporting activities that took place over the weekend. But today on the Inside Sports show, we'll be running by you the transfer market, how most of the Ghanaians are faring in the transfer market. This transfer window is still open. I'll be speaking with Juliet Bewa. I'll be running by you most of the Ghanaians and whether they are truly going to the clubs that most have been linked with, and also the transfer rumors in Europe, who is going to which club and how soon that is. I'll also be speaking with Bawa Fuseni, Secretary General of the Ghana Athletics Association. Janet Amponsa, Ghana's sole representative for this year's IAAF World Championship. She's expected to leave town today. How well is she prepared to face the rest of the world? We'll be running by you all those ones here on the Inside Sports show. But quickly, let me just introduce my guest for today's program. I'm speaking about Juliet Bewa, and we'll be going to be running by you the transfer market, how most of the Ghanaians are faring on the transfer market. How true is it that, the various Ghanaian players that you've heard who've been linked with certain clubs, Christiana Chu, who and whatnot, she has all the updates here. And Juliet, thanks for joining me in the studio this morning.
Yeah, the pleasure.
Okay, quickly, if you can run by viewers how true is it for who is going where and whatnot? I mean, we need to know how true is it that there are rumors concerning most of the Ghanaian players and who is going where?
Even before we get into the transfer market, I think over the weekend so many Ghanaian players were in action, and we start off with the game that happened yesterday. That three Ghanaian players, Kevin Prince Boateng, Michael Essien, and also Sule Muntari was also in action for both AC Milan and Chelsea in the International Champions Cup, where but Michael Essien was on the smiling side because definitely Chelsea managed to beat AC Milan 2-0, and Sule Muntari lasted the whole the entire duration of the game, as well as and also Kevin Prince Boateng also played I think 70th minute of that game, but Michael Essien was substituted in the first half. That is before they came back from recess for Ramirez, and just exactly that's what happened when it comes to those the powerhouse of Ghanaian midfielders. Currently, when you maybe add Kwadwo Asamoah to it, that is the midfield that you'll be looking at when the Black Stars, or when all of them like Essien decides to come back and come and play for the Black Stars. And we go to Belgium, and also Bernard Yaokumoji, although Genk was in action against Leuven, he didn't play a part of that game. He was an unused substitute, and Genk won 4-1. Nana Akwesi Asari, who also made a switch from the Dutch Eredivisie to Gent, also played full match for his club when they beat Maglen 2-1. And Daniel Paré, we all know the Ghanaian international right back. He has been suffering from injuries here and there and all that, but he made a comeback, and he also played full game for Standard Liège when they trashed former Rahim Ayus side Liège 3-0. And also in the championship, definitely we also have attention there. Exactly when the English Premier League is not back now, we also turn our attention to the championship, where we have Jeffrey Schlupp. You know, he made he's got one cup to his name when Kwesi Appiah called him for the Black Stars, and he also played as a substitute in Leicester City's win against Middlesbrough. And we also got a certain Patrick Agyemang, who he's also making waves in the championship, and he also scored in the 25th minute to help his side. Portsmouth also beat Oxford. So many players in the. Dominic Adia was also in action for Arsenal Kiev, and also we've got a number of players. And when you go to the Dutch Eredivisie, you all know Mathieu Amoah. Definitely, he also made a switch from his side. He signed for Heracles Amelio, that is Kwame Kwanse's club, on Friday, and he made his debut for the club. But unfortunately, they lost 3-1. But he managed to score on his debut. And one thing that we cannot forget is also in the PSL. that is the South African League, because now we've got so many Ghanaian players there, so our attention is also there. And a certain Yakubu Mohammed, who scored 14 goals for Ashgold last season, managed to get into the Maritzburg team, because definitely when he went to South Africa, Orlando Pirates, and the coach said he doesn't want to sign a player who can't play more than 30 minutes, so he won't sign Yakubu Mohammed. And I think he was on the headlines like over the weekend when he made his debut for Maritzburg, and he also scored the only goal to give his side the 1-0 win over Polokwane. Awa Mohammed of Kumasi, formerly of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, was in action. Edwin Jima was also in action. So Daniel Ejie was also in action for the first time since he signed for Free State Stars, but his side lost. Rashid Sumaila was left out of the squad, definitely because he didn't play in the preseason with the club, so I think he's now getting back to full fitness. But I
hear the ITC is not ready also.
Yeah, so now they have to finish everything, because he was with Kumasi Asante Kotoko during the off-season games that they were playing, so they have to acquire all those things before everything will be set to play. But for Ghanaians, I think what we have to think about, or maybe what Ghanaians would want to know, is about our number one goalkeeper, Fatau Dauda. He signed for Orlando Pirates, but Orlando Pirates over the weekend played against El Ahly in the Champions League and group stages, and they thrashed El Ahly 3-0, and that is remarkable achievement. Very. He was left out of that squad, so people keep asking what is going on, or maybe these are early days yet. But if you have a number one goalkeeper and who is left out of a squad, I think as Ghanaians we will be worried. But on the other hand, Adam Kwarase also saw full action in Norway. Okay,
that's good news for maybe, hopefully, I don't want to go into that, because definitely Adam Kwarase used to be the number one. Fatau Dauda came back. Juliet, I don't get the whole chemistry here. Does it look shaky for Fatau if he's not a starter for his side? Does it mean that then we're going to call back Adam Kwarase, who I don't get this whole thing here.
For every player in this Black Star squad, I think Kwesi Appiah has sounded the warning is very clear. Active football and will earn you a place in the Black Star squad. So you do everything possible to make sure you get into the Black Star squad. And if you have your number one goalkeeper and going into a very crunch game against Zambia in September, and he's warming the bench of a club, you've got to be worried. And definitely you will need players. You need active players to partake in those games. We also what inactive football has done to maybe Jonathan Mensah, Samuel Inkum. It gets the players rusty. It's not like they are not good players, but it makes them rusty. So I'm just hoping that Fatau Dauda will still fight for a place in the Orlando Pirates team. It's very difficult, especially if you speak to the couple of players like Ransford Osei, who has been there before. He has gone to South Africa, and they tell you, they tell you the stories that emanating from the PSL, Dua Mufa, all those players have been there. Jonathan Mensah has been there before, and if they tell you all those stories, I think what you have to do as a player, if they know your quality, they know your quality, and that is exactly what Yakubu Mohammed did over the weekend. And it was a thunderbolt of a strike. You just have to sit down and watch the game. That is the kind of players you have to make your mark, or you have to let your feet do the talking. And I think for Fatau Dauda, he'll be worried now that maybe Adam Kwarase is seeing a lot of action and he is warming the bench, or he's been left out of the Orlando Pirates squad. We all wish he gets in there and make a mark.
All right, wishing he gets in there to make a mark. Talking about our goalkeeper, number one goalkeeper, Fatau Dauda, who was warming the bench for his side when they played that particular game. Anyway, Coach Kwesi Appiah has a lot to do. He knows what he has up his sleeves, not as here. You can count on Juliet for all the updates when it comes to the Black Stars, and also who is making headlines and who played what not. She'll be coming your way same time tomorrow, also to run by viewers who is making name and who is going where and who played what for his club and who is active and not active. Okay.